everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to discuss about one of the most disastrous ransomware which is not currently so much in news, but still it is affecting so many computers out there. So we are going to discuss about that in detail. Remember, this particular ransomware is more disastrous as compared to ransomware as well. So we are going to talk about that only. My name is Nirup Parmar. This is some brief about me. If you have any doubt or query, feel free to ping me on this particular email ID. In last lecture, I already discussed about one particular ransomware that is, as we already know, that was named as WannaCry Ransomware, as you can see here. So this is something brief about that only, because we should have clear understanding about ransomware as well. If you want, you can just go and watch my previous lecture on ransomware as well. You will find link for the same in this right hand side corner, and at the same time I'm also providing link for that particular lecture in video description section as well, or at the end of this lecture as well you will find link for the same. Now, that ransomware attack was basically performed by one attacker or hackers group which is named as Shadow Broker. Now what they did was they basically hacked the tool which is developed by National Security Agency of America. So they use this particular tool, and with the help of that tool they basically trapped, or they basically misuse one vulnerability which is present in Windows operating system, which is named as MS17010, or which is basically linked with Microsoft Server Message Block, which works basically, or which this particular vulnerability, through this vulnerability attacker basically targets TCP, that is Transmission Control Protocol, port number 445. Through this particular port they basically attacks your system. So what we mean by TCP, whenever we send or receive any data outside our network, that time this transmission, or you can say it is like a transport system only. Whenever we send or receive anything, so one channel which helps us to transport those particular things or those particular data or files, anything. So for that reason we use the TCP, and there are many TCP ports available in our system for different reasons, for different purposes, and out of those, one particular TCP port which basically works for this particular reason, that is server message block. That port is vulnerable that port is vulnerable, and this vulnerability is basically discovered by this particular hackers group that is named as Shadow Broker, and that leads to one of the biggest disastrous ransomware attack that is called as WannaCry. This is the main idea, or you can say in short everything about WannaCry. As you can see, one more thing, this particular attack also appeared to use an NSA backdoor, and that backdoor is called as double pulsar, to actually install the ransomware known as WannaCry. So they use this particular backdoor which is named as double pulsar. Now what if I say that there is one more ransomware attack which is currently going on, and that is more disastrous as compared to this WannaCry, because most of people are not aware about this. Remember, ransomware, when we talk about ransomware, we often come across one thing, that your computer might get locked and some of the attacker might demand you some money, and against those money they are going to unlock your computer. That's it. But there is one more ransomware, as you can see here, which is named as Adylkuzz. Remember, this is one of the most dangerous ransomware which is currently hampering many different computers. Remember, they basically targets operating system, especially made up of Windows operating system only, and they are using the same vulnerability which is used by WannaCry ransomware team, that is which is used by those attackers. So the same vulnerability, this particular group of attackers are also using the same vulnerability to get access of your computer. Now as you can see here, any computer which is running on Windows 10 or connecting to internet via a router, they are basically less prone to such type of an attack. Remember, however, we discovered another way, very large scale attack using both Eternal Blue and Double Pulsar to install cryptocurrency miner. Remember, this is what we mean by cryptocurrency miner. Now, what we mean by cryptocurrency, when we discussed about WannaCry ransomware, that time, I mean, in today's time, many a time we come across one word, that is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Now, this is something which is also called as digital currency, which is not physically present in our hand. Remember about all this technical words and what we mean by digital wallet and many different things. So in further lecture, I'll be discussing in detail about this with some practical examples, so that you can easily understand it. But for now, remember this Adylkuzz, it's a cryptocurrency miner. Miner means through which we can generate, or we can basically download more and more this cryptocurrencies. If I want to earn bitcoins, then also I need to run this type of miners. Miners means those are one type of a software which are basically installed on your computer, and in backend they basically run or execute some, or they basically try to solve some mathematical equations. Or in more simple word, I can say these miners are some software which basically helps or utilizes your computer's processors power to execute some algorithm on your computer. And as fast your computer, if your computer executes those algorithm, as fast as your computer executes those algorithm, as much money you can download on your computer. So against executing or against solving those mathematical equation, I mean, you don't need to solve anything. Those software are well developed in such a way that they are going to solve all those mathematical problem themselves only. But you just need to provide them some part of your processor. So they basically utilizes your processor, they basically utilizes your computer to perform or to execute those operations. And against executing those operations, they provide you some cryptocurrency that might be in form of bitcoins, or in this particular ransomware attack, they are providing money in form of one particular type. Okay, so this particular attack is called as Adylkuzz. It's a cryptocurrency miner. It's a software, remember, which basically gets installed on your computer without your knowledge. And one more thing, this type of ransomware does not ask you for any money. So this ransomware is not locking up all your data or files. One thing, so we are not be aware about this particular thing. Second thing, they just utilizing capacity of your computer. So in turn, your computer will be slower and slower day by day. So it's this particular attack runs install one miner that is named as Adylkuzz, which is basically developed to mine this kind of cryptocurrencies. So let's discuss about this. So as you can see, we are going to start discussing about this particular thing, what we mean by this. So Adylkuzz is a cryptocurrency miner that infects computers and server. It is difficult to detect. Remember, when we talk about such type of miner, they are software only, but they basically does not get installed on your system. You won't find any icon like we find when we install any game or Microsoft Office or something. You will find one icon which is linked to that particular software. But when we talk about such miners, you won't find any icon for this, and hence it gets very difficult to identify that is there any such kind of software present on our system or not. It is difficult to detect, as I said, and it's basically generates a cyber money. It generates cryptocurrency by executing algorithm which is defined or which is provided by such miners or such software. So this software provides, or this software utilizes your computer's performance or some part of your processor's space to execute the algorithm, and against those algorithm they can generate this cyber money. And this cyber money is basically again goes back to attacker. That means attacker are using your computer just to exploit it, just to generate this cyber money. And if there are 10,000 such computer who at a time uses or who at a time executes such miner, then attacker can earn in more than 5 digits per day. So that much revenue they can generate just by affecting or just by attacking those many computers. And one more thing, it is not locking up your data, so you won't be able to notify or you won't be able to get identify such softwares. So users will only notice that Windows machine is running slowly and that they don't have access to shared Windows resources. So you won't be able to access anything which is available in a network. So you won't be able to connect yourself or connect your computer within a network. So it is unclear which computer system will be targeted and when it might be targeted. So it is very difficult to identify that as well. Now there is a recent discovery based on this, how one can easily identify. So as you can see, WannaCry. Now before discovering this, let me just tell you one thing. WannaCry, the worst ransomware outbreak in history, gained a lot of media attention, but WannaCry isn't the only malware strain spreading on a massive scale. One of them is Adylkuzz, a cryptocurrency miner that has been infecting PCs around the world just like WannaCry. Although this crypto mining malware is not entirely new, its latest campaign started at a big scale. Like they've started that campaign in Ukraine and many different countries. Now, as you can see the discovery. Now, in course of researching the WannaCry campaign, a lab machine vulnerable to eternal blue attack. This is called as eternal blue attack. What do we mean by this? I've explained in detail in my WannaCry Ransomware's lecture. Now, while expecting to see WannaCry, the lab machine was actually infected with an unexpected and less noisy guest, and that was a cryptocurrency miner, that is Adylkuzz. It was enrolled in an Adylkuzz mining botnet. Now what do you mean by botnet and what do you mean by all these things? So I have also made lecture on those things as well, that is named as online threats. A link for the same you will find in video description section. So from there you will get in detail more information about the same things. So as you can see here, you will find that this particular ransomware is basically affecting like this. In backend you will find information about it. Now one more thing which we are going to discuss, the attack is launched from several virtual private servers. Remember, they does not have any physical server present, so we cannot be able to detect them. So they are basically using virtual private server, which are massively scanning the internet on TCP port 445. Remember 445. They are massively searching for vulnerability which is present with respect to Windows operating system. Now the computer which are running on Windows XP and further versions except Windows 10, and if you have updated your Windows 10 operating system, then that means you are much secure against this type of attack. But if you are using any Windows version which is less than Windows 10, then you are obviously at a higher risk and you need to scan your computer if you are running slow on with respect to your computer. So what they are doing, they are massively scanning the internet on TCP port 445 for potential targets. So if that vulnerability is present upon successful exploitation via eternal blue, remember this eternal blue basically used to identify whether TCP port number 445 is open to attack or not. And this basically port or machines are basically infected with the help of double pulsar. The double pulsar backdoor that downloads and runs Adylkuzz from another host. Once running, Adylkuzz will first stop any potential instances of itself already running and also block his SMB, that is server message block. It also blocks that particular thing and potential instance of itself already running and block SMB communication. And to avoid further infection, it then determines the public IP address of victims and download the mining instructions, crypto miner and cleanup tools. So basically it basically in backend it does everything on your computer just to download money on your computer, and those money then gets transferred on the address of attackers. Now it appears that it at any given time, there are multiple Adylkuzz command and control servers hosting the crypto miner binaries and mining instructions. So as you can see, is infected PC same way like WannaCry by exploiting this particular vulnerability. And what they are using Eternal Blue and Double Pulsar. I hope this particular point is clear. It is also called as they are silently eating your computer's power just to earn more money, remember. So what's new and what wasn't included in WannaCry is that Adylkuzz tries to block other threads. Remember, this ransomware, one of the most important point, this ransomware basically tries to block other threads trying to also infect the PCs using MS17010 vulnerability. The PC will remain infected with Adylkuzz, but the malware will actually protect the PC from other malware. So I don't understand, this malware protects your computer so that your computer won't get affected with any such other malware. So if your computer is affected with Adylkuzz malware, then that is the only malware which is present on your computer. That's it. No, not any other malware will get placed on your computer, because this malware itself provides protection to your computer. I mean, isn't that funny? So, or on the other hand, initial statistics suggest that this attack may be larger in scale than WannaCry, because no one is aware that their computer is being misutilized by some other attackers. Because this attack shuts down SMB, that is server message block networking, to prevent further infections with other malwares, including WannaCry worm as well, via that same vulnerability. As this WannaCry, Adylkuzz has been hitting Russia, Ukraine, Taiwan, and most followed by Brazil and India. Remember, it is also infecting computers which are present in India, and which were also big WannaCry targets. Now, one more thing which I would like to add here is, you can see, for those of you wondering if Adylkuzz is ransomware like WannaCry, we can tell you it is not. Adylkuzz does not hold data or machine hostage like WannaCry and other ransomware does. Instead, it exploits the infected PC's systems resources to fuel its author's cryptocurrency mining operation. So it's only focused on mining the cryptocurrency, and against mining, they basically generates one cryptocurrency that is named as Monero. Remember, it is same like BitCoin. Monero is an alternative to BitCoin recently adopted by AlphaBay. Now, what is the difference between Bitcoin and Monero? Remember, Bitcoin works on one concept that is called as blockchain. It's exactly same like Microsoft SharePoint, where everything is shared within a group of people, so everything is updated on a ledger. So if you are receiving some Bitcoin from some other person, so that person's name is also maintained or also displayed in that blockchain, so one can easily identify which money is coming from which particular sender or receiver, and who's sending it and who's receiving it. So from the starting point till today, we can easily identify which Bitcoins are generated and which Bitcoin are transferred to whom, just by those particular names. Now, what we mean by blockchain, practically I'm going to explain each and everything in further in this particular lectures further series. Now remember, just for now, remember, in Bitcoin, one can easily check the name of sender and receiver. Now, they are not the genuine name. It is just a name mentioned by that account holder. Remember, it is a name mentioned by that blockchain account holder. So if I want to send or receive some money from other person, then I'm going to generate one digital wallet, and under that digital wallet I'm going to provide one of my name. That name might be ABC, but there is a name present when we talk about blockchain. So in blockchain, when we are using Bitcoins, they basically run on blockchain, and in blockchain pattern, it is very easy to just to identify how much Bitcoins are transferring from which account to which account. So hence there might be a chances that one can easily identify how much money is transferring and where those monies or where those Bitcoins are transferred on which account. But it is not that simple to identify those accounts. Yes, one can identify when we basically go and convert those bitcoins into our local currencies. So as soon as one goes for conversion, that time you come across a threat. But when we talk about this particular cryptocurrency, it is way more secure than bitcoins. It provides more security. It does not follows blockchain pattern, so one cannot easily identify where this money coming from and where it is going. So hence this attackers are using or running this particular cryptocurrency miner on many different people's computers, and in return they are generating this particular type of a cryptocurrency. I hope this particular point is clear. Now, I have provided one screen here. As you can see, this type of address basically on which we are going to send, or our computer basically sends an address. There are multiple such kind of addresses are available. If any one of you aware about how to generate blockchain account and how to generate a digital wallet for bitcoins, then there also will basically find this type of an address. With the help of this address, one can send or receive bitcoins. So here also that miner basically generates this type of an address, and on this address only the money which is generated after executing those algorithm which is present on miner, so money is transferred on this particular addresses only. Now how to generate this addresses, and how to utilize this digital currencies in detail I'm going to discuss in further series. So just stay tuned and you will get in detail about all these things. So how to mine bitcoins, I'm going to present one lecture. After this there is going to be a next lecture on this particular part only, how to mine a bitcoin, how to earn bitcoin, and how to transfer bitcoins in your local currencies. At the same time, how to practically use blockchain techniques. So everything I'm going to explain in further series, but for now just remember this concept, so that while we discuss in further part, you will easily get to understand what all this everything is all about. Because this particular currency Monero is exactly same like bitcoin, except bitcoin where we can easily identify where bitcoin is coming from, which account and which account it is going into. But in this particular currency, one cannot have any knowledge about where money is coming from, which account and which account it is going into. I hope this particular point is clear. Now Adylkuzz begins its campaign on or before, I think, 2nd May, more than a week before WannaCry crypto exploded onto the scan. One of several Monero addresses associated with income, as you can see, is here I have provided that particular address. As you can see, this is the address. So Monero addresses associated with income from Adylkuzz mining generated. You can just imagine they have earned $22,000. And in another type they have earned $7,000, and in third type they have earned $14,000 before mining gets seized on most of computers. So you can just imagine ransomware, WannaCry ransomware attacks so many computers and their profit was too less. And when we talk about Adylkuzz, their attack was so silent. No one is actually aware about this. I mean, most of you who is watching this lecture right now, they are also not aware about this particular thing. It is might possible that you are already affected with this, but still you are not aware with this. So they are still earning. This is just an approximate amount. This is just an approximate amount. The main profit of this particular attacker is way more than this. So while an individual laptop may generate only a few dollars per week by running those miners, collectively the network of compromised computers, remember, collectively the network of compromised computers means if I can attack 10,000, 20,000 computers, so collection of all those computers appears to be generating 5-figure payments daily. 5 figures means your profit, daily profit goes in like millions and millions of dollars. unlike ransomware, no demand for money are made of victims. So you are not they are not basically demanding any money to you, but instead they are only utilizing performance of your computer. The malware is deliberately stealthy. Users will only notice that Windows machine is running slowly and that they don't have access to shared Windows resources. Tens of thousands of computers worldwide have been affected by Adylkuzz campaign. For organizations running legacy versions of Windows or who have not implemented the patches that Microsoft released in March and last weekend, PCs and server will remain vulnerable to this type of an attack. So, as I said, in future lecture, I'm going to discuss in detail about what is cryptocurrency. With practical example, I'll also explain what is digital wallet, how we can generate, or how many different types of digital wallet are present there, and how we can earn bitcoins, and how we can basically generate, or how we can basically accommodate those bitcoin in this digital wallet, and using this digital wallet how we can basically transfer those money in our bank accounts, and how we can convert those digital monies into our local currency. And that your local currency might be anything: rupees, dollar, pounds, euros, or any other thing. I hope this particular point is clear. So in next lecture, this 4 question and many more question I'm going to answer in a practical manner, so that one can easily understand how or which type of attack might happen in future as well. So right now Windows operating system is at risk. It might possible in future we might affect or we might face problem with other operating systems as well. So it is very important for us to understand what this cryptocurrency, how to mine them, how to practically use them. If we are not going to use it in future, still we should have practical knowledge about it. So stay tuned for further series in the same for further lectures in the same series. Thank you and bye bye.